Just show you guys what's going on here. So, I man thought I could eat the pork chop. So what it is a pork chop that's been brine. It's been grilled and deep fried. So you got all the crispy edges and all that here. But that's not the point of this video. The point is, I ate from here on. I still have a piece to finish off there. So basically the challenge is using this piece of pork that's already been cooked at the restaurant here. But I'll show you guys how to rock a recipe if ever you have a piece of leftover barbecue or grilled or fried pork. It's been a couple days since we were out there for dinner. Now what I want to do, and this, that was a lot of meat there, man. I just couldn't. But what they did was the outside where the pork belly part is there, we have that skin. And that skin is rubbery, so I'm just going to chop that off, but I want to maintain some of that fat. So this part here is going to go into the rubbish, but for the most part we're just going to chop these up into small pieces like so. And if you haven't seen this recipe before, and when I say haven't seen it before, because this is very similar to my stir-fry cabbage or my Jamaican cabbage recipe that I shared with you guys, except we're using the pork that I man struggle to eat at the restaurant. If you want to do it fully vegan and vegetarian and all that kind of stuff like that, you can just leave this part off here, totally fine. The other thing is, if you have smoked meat, like pork is not your thing and you want to use smoked turkey, I mean to say, rock your smoked turkey. I'm not hating. I just out here to be irie with everybody, and appreciate thin slices, you see. Just look at that. And the reason for leaving the fat is, and you'll see it in a moment, we're gonna render down that fat. We're gonna start with a dry pan or dry pot, and that's gonna give us a ton of nice flavors and stuff like that too. So I'm just gonna continue working this. We gotta take all the meat off the bone like so, and keep chopping it up. Let me get busy on this thing here. I've got my nice big pot here. It's kind of overkill, but say what, there's a lot of cabbage I'm going to go into there with. And the pot is still cold. I didn't turn the heat on yet because I want to bring the heat up while I have the pieces of pork in there with that fat, just to render off that fat. What I may need to do is, because I need a little bit more fat in there, I will add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Got that nice little sizzle happening there, and I kid you not, the kitchen is smelling incredible already, just from that porky goodness that's happening in the pot there. What I'm going to do is turn on my heat to medium-low because I'm not trying to burn anything here. But since I have carrots going into this dish, I'm going to add my julienne carrots at this point because that's going to take the longest to cook out of everything I'm adding to the dish. The other 2 things I would like to add in here is some fresh ground black pepper. It's all about pulling out and bringing in flavors and everything else. So that fresh ground black pepper. And I also want some fresh thyme in there, but just the leaves. I ain't trying to fish those stems out later on. So I'm going to use about 5 or 6 sprigs of thyme, but I'm just using the leaves part. That's going in there, and the little snap crackle pop. No, that's not Rice Krispies. That's the hot oil being introduced to the fresh thyme there. You hear that? Oi! Is that a nice little stir? Listen to that now. Hey! It's been about 2.5 minutes since I added the carrots in there. I'm going to go in with salt, and I'm not going too heavy with salt, keeping in mind that, we're using cabbage, and it is an entire small cabbage I'm using. But when in speaking with the waiter at the restaurant, he told me that the pork chops were brined, a salty brine, so I don't want to put too much salt in there at this point. We're going to go in with bell peppers. I've got a couple scallions, and I have about 5 cloves of garlic that's been roughly chopped. I'm going to turn my heat down to low because I'm not trying to burn the garlic. I'm just trying to soften up everything here, just so we have niceness. I cannot really, I can't stress this enough. The kitchen really smelling wicked. So basic ingredients, a little garlic, a little leftover pork, a little. Yo, you see what went on in there? So now it's time for the cabbage. Yo, and as I mentioned earlier there, that's an entire small cabbage. What we're gonna do now is hit that a couple tablespoons of water. We're gonna bring the heat up to medium, and we're gonna cover the pot, sort of steam saute the cabbage. Now remember, we're not trying to overcook anything. If you like overcooked cabbage, well, I mean to say that is what you like, but I don't rock it so, no. There goes that couple tablespoons of water. Lid on, and we're just gonna let that steam saute in there for a few minutes. It's been 5 minutes. I've already stirred it a couple times. Yo, this is exactly where I want it to be. I don't want it any more limp than this, because I know the residual heat in the pot here will continue cooking this even further. Sup, soldiers? Listen, if you enjoy this recipe, I'd really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and click that bell notification thing. If you've made the recipe, take a picture and send it to me. Email address down here. I mean, trying to tell people the email address, them butts will take the address and do all kind of thing with it. And tag me on Instagram at Caribbean Pot. I really appreciate you guys, and thanks for being in my kitchen with me today. Irie? Here's where you will taste it for salt. You will adjust it to your own liking. I did have to end up adding a bit more salt. The full list of ingredients will be listed down below. But yeah, that pork chop, I man struggled. Yeah, I was defeated at the restaurant there, but small thing, it came home, and look what I did. A nice little saute cabbage there, a little steam kind of thing there with some, yo, you got broccoli, you got, yo, anything you want to add in there, you can add. Clear out the fridge, dump it in there, boom, you have a nice little side dish. Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Always a pleasure having you guys here in the kitchen with me. Irie up yourself, man. I mean to say it's swine, but I'm on it discriminating. Nah, sir. What's up, soldiers? Don't forget to click subscribe. If you've already clicked subscribe, hit that bell notification thing. I want to all you missing out on the new videos, man. Come on, click.